It's time for change, guys. Time for change. I want to talk with you all about that. Time for change. It's a change that you have to make in yourself when you realize that individuals are going to do things at your expense. So often people will do things and you are trying to understand them. Sometimes you are willing to take all sorts of egg on your face to make people feel comfortable. How many times may you have a loved one or someone that you care about and they allow other people to attack you and to do things wrong to you? And what do? You hold yourself back. You don't say anything because of how you feel about this individual. So, for example, let's say you have, a boyfriend or girlfriend, and you really like this person a lot. But when you get around their family, they have a relative or someone that really disrespects you, that really treats you badly. And your boyfriend or your girlfriend just lets it happen. Maybe your husband or your wife. They sit there, they don't do anything about it. Now, you may be a person that you're very vulnerable, very, you just timid, right? But then there's some where, you could say something back to really hurt this person's feelings or to really check this individual, even if you're not hurting their feeling. But because of how you feel about this man or this woman, you refrain. So your love for them is what causes you to hold back and not say anything. But then you realize they're not protecting you either. You may be in a friendship with someone that you're like, we're friends, and you get around their cousins, you get around their friends, or you get around other people, and you notice that they will allow others to attack you, but they won't say anything about it. And you are holding yourself, your body and your tongue. You're not saying anything. You're not correcting them because of who it is. Because you care about them. You care about this person so much that you will let their mom and dad and brothers and sisters and uncles and aunts and their friends and their best friend and disrespect you because of how much you love them or how much you care about them. But they don't feel the same about you. So what do you do about it? Take these lessons and learn. What do you do when they don't protect you? There's several ways that you could go about it, depending on the type of relationship you have. When they're doing certain things, you can say something to them right then and there. So are you really going to allow them to speak to me like that? That could be a thing that you do. You could address it or not address it, and just address it through your actions by not being there. They're different things. That person could be saying something crazy to you and asking you, so what do you say about that? I have nothing to say about it. I'm just wondering why my husband is sitting here and allowing it, or my wife. Or just don't put yourself around it, right? Because a lot of times maybe you can respond. And maybe that, depending on the relationship you have, perhaps that will set something in motion, provided you've already spoken to them in private and they gave you the song and dance of what they're going to do differently or not. And then it happened. Sometimes you do have to do that. But at times, sometimes that's like throwing gasoline in a fire, right? Because they're already volatile. They're waiting for that moment. Don't you know that there's some people who just wait for that moment so they can act out? Sometimes there are people who are waiting for you to say something back so they can escalate the situation. So it's not always the best thing to speak out, because sometimes that's what they're looking for. Not too long ago, I believe it was last week or the week before, there's a woman who had been having problems with her neighbor, allegedly, according to the news. The neighbor does something, takes the child's tablet, puts it in, takes it away, and the kid said, I'm gonna tell my mom, and she says, go get your mom, allegedly. And he goes to get his mother, and the mother goes to the door to go get the tablet, and she shoots the mom through the door. Some people want the opportunity. So sometimes, yes, we have to discern and ask God to lead us. What do we address and what do we not address? Because, Jesus was very wise. There were things that he addressed and things that he did not. And when he addressed things, he will make the statement in such a way that he will leave them thinking. And he will ask them the question in a roundabout way. Actually, not even a roundabout way. Whatever they're trying to do to entrap him, he had a way. He was very skilled. He could discern and see what was going on. And he will ask them the thing that he'll tell them to answer their own questions. You see? And then he also knew those who had the right heart, who were asking questions because they really wanted to know. And then he'll take time to teach them and to speak. And he knew also when to keep silent, such as when he was getting ready to be crucified. This was a time to be silent. But he did open up his mouth to say, I am the Son of God, right? He did not deny that. So discernment is really, really important, guys. And we can never get back yesterday. We can never get back the last few seconds of our lives. I can't ever get back the last 6 minutes and 38, 39, 40 seconds that have passed. I may be able to stop this recording and start again, and there'll be another 6 minutes or so that'll come up, but you know what? It won't be the same one. That moment in time is gone. So you just have to think of what you need to do for yourself to protect yourself, to change your environment, because sometimes there are individuals and people, the ones that you are holding your peace and you're not saying anything, and then this person is just standing by and just letting other people attack you and making you feel bad if you say anything about it. When you go and talk about it, they'll tell you everything that you should have said, and I don't have anything to do with that, and blow you off and make you feel like you're just too sensitive. But if you were to start to talk back and act out, they'll be telling you everything that's wrong and how you should be respectful. It's not okay for people to allow their family members and friends to attack you and to mistreat you. That person does not care about you. And honestly, what happens is these people are getting the green light from your partner or from your friend or from even your siblings, because it can happen with siblings. That brother or sister is not protecting you, and their friends can come over or get around you and disrespect you and say things, and because they see that it's okay. They see that you're not going to be protected. They see that this person is more inclined to be on their side, that you are not protected. And that's what they recognize in your husband or in your wife or in your friend or in your sibling. These individuals realize that this person does not honor you. They don't value you. They don't respect you. They're not on your side. That they are allies in your hurt. They are allies in your demise, in your destruction, and your and tearing you down. And that's what they share. They share these commonalities. It's the same thing as if someone, I've said this before, if someone has hurt you and your family members are just trying to be best buds with someone who has broken your heart. They share something in common. And what they share in common is the lack of love, the lack of respect, the lack of empathy towards you, and they enjoy hurting you, and they take it for granted. They take your love for granted. They take your kindness for granted. They take your patience for granted. And so while you're sitting there not saying anything, because out of respect for your husband or your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your brother or your sister, and knowing that, well, this is their friend and this is their partner, yet they do nothing and allow this partner or their friends to continue to disrespect you, there's a great imbalance here. And what I like, guys, is I enjoy reading the book of Proverbs, because in the book of Proverbs in the Bible, it tells you so much about everyday relations and how to deal with that. And a lot of things that it tells you is to refrain, to remove yourself, avoid certain kinds of people. Don't get into confrontations and arguments or talk to. Don't do it. Sometimes you have to step away from people like this. And it can be hard. It will be difficult. And think about the irony of it, how you think, how hard it is for you to walk away and make your peace and to find your peace and to heal and to be made whole again. That is a challenge. And it will be more comfortable for you to stay in a relationship where a person abases you and they mistreat you and they tell you everything that you're not, and they tell you you're paranoid, and they tell you you're crazy. Despite the hurt and the pain, you will be more inclined to stay here, and the idea of leaving and being on your own and moving forward or ending the relationship terrifies you. And that should be a clear indication of how much you are conditioned and have been stripped away of your sense of self and who you are in Christ. That you cannot see your worth anymore. And you think, I'd rather stay here because they brought you down to that level. Who else will want me? Who else will be with me? Don't let the lies keep you stuck. And remember, pay attention to what they do. Pay attention to the seed. And people around you that disrespect you in front of your husband or in front of your wife, in front of your brother, in front of your sister, in front of this friend, your best friend, your buddy, boyfriend, girlfriend. The reason why they're disrespecting you and doing those things to you is because they recognize that your partner is not going to protect you and is in fact an ally who will go against you, who is joined ranks with them, who's left you out there vulnerable. So you have to do what they have no intentions of doing. And if you show them that it doesn't matter what you do to me, I'm going to be here no matter what, then you can expect to get that. Keep getting servings of that, double portions, triple portions, and eventually you're not even going to get dessert with it. All right, guys. Peace out.